Okay, that's enough. You win. Hey everybody, it's me, Chris. I'm back over here in the kitchen. I got Jack helping me out. And today we're going to show you how to make fresh lasagna pasta sheets. Let me show you my ingredients. So first of all, you really want to go out, and I recommend Whole Foods, and get this 00 flour. This is really finely milled and really makes the best pasta. So, and it's very affordable. So I got 00 flour. I got 5 cups here. Okay, I got a bunch of extra flour over here to work for my bench. I got 1 cup of semolina flour. And I like the semolina because it just gives a nice texture and a nice flavor to the pasta. Okay, I got some water here. I'll probably only use like a 1/4 cup, maybe a 1/2 cup. But we'll see how the dough comes together. It's usually always different. So you gotta kind of eyeball it, okay? I got 6 eggs, and I'm gonna use 6 yolks as well. I'll show you how I do that. I got my bench scraper here, of course. And then I need some place for this to go. So I like to use these wax sheets. If you can get your hands on these things, they're phenomenal, especially when you're sheeting out pasta. So I'm going to layer them here so they don't stick together until it's time to cook them. So let me get this organized here, right? We'll have one more fight, and then we'll start to make our pasta dough. All right, so it's time to make the pasta dough, and I'm doing this old school. I'm just going to do it right on the board here. So I'm going to make a big mound right in the center of my regular flour, and then the semolina I'm just going to add right on top, just like that. And then I'm going to go in the middle with my hand, kind of pinch your fingers together, and I'm going to go around and around, and I'm going to make a nice big well in the middle, just like this. I need to get these egg yolks out of here. So the best way to do that, and I learned this from watching Jack Pepin, just take it out with your hands and just let the whites fall through your fingers like that. This way you just get the yolk and you don't get any of the extra stuff. So I'm going to put all 6 right in the middle there. All right, so I just washed my hands real quick. And now these egg whites, you don't want to get rid of those. I'm going to save those, and I'm going to make those into breakfast tomorrow. Actually, I'm going to post a video on how to make an egg white and turkey sandwich. So make sure you go and check that out. I'm going to put the lid on these, and I'll show you what to do next. All right, so now right in the same bowl as I had the egg whites, I'm going to crack the rest of my eggs. So I need 6. Now you watch me, Jack, and now it's your turn to try, okay?
Okay.
Come on, you can do it.
This sounds disgusting, but okay.
You got this. Come on. Now on the side of the bowl.
What the heck? What's the matter with this thing?
All right, Jack, you try one. And now we use that glass bowl so we can see if there's any eggshells in there, right, bud? Give it a whack. Go ahead. Don't be afraid. Good. Now open it up. Open it up. Come on. No. Turn your thumbs where it's cracked. Go ahead. Open that up. There you go. Good job.
Eggshell!
Here, buddy. Try your last one. Go ahead. Give it a good whack this time. A little harder. Harder. Okay, now put your thumbs by the crack. And now open it. All right, so I'm just going to give this a quick mix and just add it right to the well. And I'm just going to add a little bit of water in there, maybe about a 1/4 cup to start. And then this is totally optional, but for a little bit of flavor, I like to add a little bit of extra virgin olive oil, but you don't have to do that. All right, so I'm just going to start to mix this up a little bit. I want to combine the rest of the egg yolks with the eggs and the water just a little bit. And I'm going to start to go around and bring in the flour little by little. And you got to be a little bit patient here. And just start to work it in, mix it with your fork until it starts to come together. All right, and if it starts to run away from you a little bit, just close it in, just like that. And just keep working in that flour, and it'll start to dry up and form a dough. All right, now when you start to run out of egg and it starts to dry up a little bit, now you come in with your scraper. You can clean off the fork a little bit and start to bring in the flour from around the end and work it in. And just keep doing this until you start to form a dough. All right, so I think I've done all I can with the scraper, and now's the time to come in with your hands and really start to combine this, and it should start to come together for you pretty quickly. All right, and then you just start working in that flour and keep cleaning your hands, and then here's where the hard work starts to come in. You want to keep folding this onto itself, and you see how shaggy and crumbly it looks. But after you start working it, it'll start to smooth out. And don't go overboard with the flour. If it's getting too hard to combine, just kick the rest to the side and just keep working your dough. All right, so this looks pretty good. And this dough is really nice and firm, but when it sits in the fridge, it's going to soften up. And all this excess, I'm just going to get rid of because you don't want to force it in. And by the way, the easiest way to really do this, if you have a KitchenAid mixer, just put all your ingredients in the mixer with the dough hook and let it go. It should come together perfectly for you. So I'm going to wrap this in plastic. You got to let it rest in the fridge for at least an hour before you start to roll it out. All right, so my pasta rested for an hour in the fridge. I cut it in 4 pieces and dusted it with a little flour. The ones you're not using, you got to cover in plastic. And so I'm going to start with one. And what you want to do is take some extra flour and just start to press it out so that it can fit into the opening of the pasta roller. And I want just kind of a rough shape of a rectangle. All right, so I got one end nice and flat. And now I got my pasta machine. We're starting on setting number 1. And Jack, start cranking. Full speed ahead, buddy.
Full speed.
Come on, you got this. All right, so you want to pass this through on the first setting a couple times. And then what you can do is, it's okay, bud, we'll put it back. You can just trim it up a little bit if you want. And now we'll turn this to number 2 and pass it through on the next setting. Crank it up, Jack. Okay. All right, Jack, number 3. Come on, come on. You got this, you got this. Keep cranking, keep cranking. All right, so now I'm just going to dust this with a little bit more flour. You want to make sure it doesn't start to get too sticky, and I'll flip it over. And this is getting a little bit long. If it gets a little long on you, just cut it in half and work with one piece at a time. So I'm going to do each half separately, and then we'll do 4 and 5, and I think that should be fine. All right, so this looks pretty good. This is number 5. I'm just going to stretch it out a little bit here, right? You can just stretch it a little bit by hand. And I have my pan here. I want to make sure I get 2 sheets out of this. So I got it about the length there. And all you got to do now is just cut it in half. And then you could just trim the ends here if you want. It doesn't have to be perfect. Once you make the lasagna, you'll never know. But you can see how kind of thin this is. You can almost see my fingers through it. But I think number 5 is great because it's thin, but it's not too thin. You're going to get a pasta sheet that's got a little bite and you got some texture and can hold all those heavy ingredients. And now I'm just going to transfer these to my pan. And it doesn't have to sit perfectly, but I got some semolina on the wax here, just like that. And I'm going to sprinkle some more on top. And the semolina is kind of like a ball bearing, and nothing really sticks to it. So I'm ready to put the next layer on and make the next set of sheets. All right, so the pasta's done. I got a big pot here of salty water, and then I have a colander here inside of a mixing bowl. So I'm going to cook my lasagna sheets in here, transfer them to the bowl, and then I'm going to run them under the cold water and stop the cooking. And I'm just going to cook. 2 at a time here. All right, so these only need to cook for a minute or 2, and just want to be careful they don't rip. So I'm gently going to take them out and just put them right into my strainer here. And then I'm just going to run these under some cold water, and then I'll stop the cooking process. All right, so once the lasagna sheets are drained, I'm going to transfer them to a clean bowl, and I just want to coat each one with a little bit of olive oil, extra virgin olive oil, and that's just going to help keep them from sticking. So if you're doing this in advance for the next day, you want to make sure they're well coated so that your pasta doesn't stick. All right, so our lasagna sheets are done, and you can see how nice they are. And don't worry about the size. You can always trim it to fit whatever size pan you have. Now, I recommend using these the same day to make your lasagna. But if you have to refrigerate it overnight, if you want to do it ahead, that's fine. Just make sure you cover it in plastic. And then when you take it out, let it warm up a little bit, because with the olive oil in there, this can get sticky and firm and be a little bit tough to work with. And by the way, this is a lot more pasta than we need for 1 pan of lasagna. But I used this set that I had gotten from Costco. So I'm gonna make 1 large lasagna, 2 medium, and 2 small roll-ups when I make my Christmas lasagna. So Jack, great job today. Thanks for helping me crank out all that pasta. That was hard work, right, buddy?
Yeah.
But you did a good job. So that's how you make fresh lasagna sheets. It's a lot of work, but it's worth the work. I hope you try it. Hey, please like and share our video. And don't forget to subscribe and tell a friend. Thanks for watching.